Hey guys, TJ18 here. Our last run was Pokemon Silver with a single Aipom, which proved to be successful despite several hurdles throughout the run that we experienced. Today, however, I wanted to conduct a more challenging run with another Pokemon. That's right, I'm talking about Ledian. So the question of today will be, could I beat Pokemon Silver and Gold with a single Ledian?
I be rolling with the squad, we be going so hard like whoa.
So Ledian is an interesting one here. Low special attack and even a lower attack base. This is by far not a physical kind of Pokemon to me. These kind of attack numbers would certainly make this run far more difficult than it was with my Aipom challenge. Feel free to comment below on whether you believe I can beat this successfully or not. So let's go over his moveset quickly, which is absolutely horrible by the way. A majority of the attacks are weak or simply ineffective from an offensive perspective. Look at this. Comet Punch, Tackle, Swift. While it can learn Double Edge, that is not until level 60. Level 60! It thankfully does have a slew of TM moves that it can learn, and some that can be proved to be of use such as Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. I'm curious as to how well this run goes, so let's get to it. So let's quickly go over the rules of this challenge. I can only use Ledian in Pokemon battles. Other Pokemon can be used for HM use only, such as Cut, Surf, Strength, etc. There will be no use of glitches or exploits, and no items in battle unless it's already held or Pokeballs. That's it. Now that you have the rules, let's get started. So I've used this Pokemon Randomizer app to replace one of the three main starter Pokemon with Ledian here. Because Ledian is a bug flying type, I chose Chikorita Spot as a sacrifice since both Chikorita and Ledian are weak against similar type attacks including fire, flying, and ice attacks. So our rival of course picked Cyndaquil, who will eventually evolve to Typhlosion, and we're off on our journey. On our way back to Elm City, I level up Ledian a bit against wild Pokemon, and we meet up with the rival for the first time and have our first battle of Ledian versus Cyndaquil. Highly appropriate choice for the rival since Ledian is also vulnerable to fire attacks. With a few tackle attacks, we sweep through Cyndaquil with ease. Well done. On our way to Faulkner, we take on Joey and Mikey, as well as battling wild Pokemon to level up some more. We landed at Sprout Tower where we took out the Elder Sage and his three Pokemon by using a combination of Supersonic and Tackle attacks. We grew to level 14, but oddly enough, haven't learned any new attacks yet, and won't have the opportunity to at least level 15 with Comet Punch. Not really an impressive move, but can prove more useful than a single tackle attack. We obtained HM05 Flash from the Elder Trainer, and we're on our way to Faulkner. So here we are at Violet Gym, and we're ready to take on Gym Leader Faulkner at level 14. My only strategy here would be Supersonic and Tackle. Shocking. That's about all I can really do at this point, I suppose. We easily take out Faulkner's Pidgey in the first round with Tackle and Supersonic combination. We only take a few tackles and have plenty of health left. Next up is his Pidgeotto, who proves more challenging. Despite our attempts, we lost not once, but twice to Pidgeotto, who has Gust Attack, which Ledian is super vulnerable against as a bug type. During the second encounter, we learned Comet Punch at level 15, and with Supersonic and Comet Punch combination, we finally took down Pidgeotto with some Supersonic luck on the third attempt, and we can proceed to the next town. Before we make it to Azalea Town, we have to go through the Union Cave, which has hikers with rock Pokemon. After losing twice to the very first hiker, I got lucky with Supersonic, causing his Geodude and Onix to damage themselves, and was finally able to proceed, using the same tactics on other trainers in that cave. Next up, we make it to Azalea City, where we take on Team Rocket at the Slowpoke Well and easily swept through the Rockets. This run is going far better than I initially expected. Though this run is still early, I'm feeling quite good about it right now. Now it's time to take on Bugsy, Azalea's Town gym leader, and probably will prove to be more challenging than it seems. We level up some more after taking on his lower level trainers, and we made it to level 21. We take on Bugsy, who sends out Metapod. We quickly use Supersonic and Comet Punch combination to get a perfect victory over Metapod. Next up is Scyther, and things go much differently. With using Fury Color and Quick Attack, he managed to take more than half of our HP away. We were finally able to take him out with a ton of effort using Supersonic and Comet Punch. But then, he brings out Kakuna, and it hit me. That Kakuna has Poison Sting, and it's not just using Harden, unlike other bug Pokemon trainers in this game. We take 2 Poison Sting attacks, and while we were poisoned on the second, Kakuna's health was low enough for him to be taken out with one final tackle attack. Whew, I cannot believe I actually won on my first try here. Good stuff, Ledian, good stuff. Before we continue, we have to take on the rival again. He sends out Ghastly and is essentially over at this point. Or so I thought. Although I can't hurt Ghastly physically with Tackle or Comet Punch, I still have Supersonic to confuse it, and hopefully we'll get lucky enough that it takes itself out. After losing the first 10 times with no luck, I decided to teach Ledian Flash, and bam! Using Flash in combination with Supersonic eventually takes out the Ghastly. Unfortunately, it only gets harder as Quilava is next and uses Ember. Although Ember does not take nearly as much damage as I thought it would, it was still a pain in the backside to get hit and burn despite using Flash and confusing it with Supersonic. Zubat was easy with a few Comet Punches and it was out of here. After 30 minutes of trying, I eventually make it past the rival and we continue on Goldenrod City. Before reaching Goldenrod City, I decided to continue with trainer battles on the outskirts of Goldenrod City to continuing leveling up. By the time we're ready for Whitney at Goldenrod Gym, we have reached level 29. I've taught Ledian both Headbutt and Thunder Punch for TMs for now. We easily take out Whitney's Clefairy with Headbutts, but get creamed by Miltank's rollout time and time again. After at least 6 additional attempts, we finally get lucky after spamming Supersonic, Flash, and Headbutt. Talk about a pain in the arse. We reach Ecruteak City and immediately take on all 5 Kimono girls at the dance theater. Ledian sweeps through all 5 evolutions and we receive HMO3 move for Surf. Since Ledian can't learn Surf natively, we would need to find a water Pokemon that's compatible. Luckily I caught a Slowpoke earlier for that very reason to use HM Surf for. Again, the additional Pokemon is only there for HM support and prohibited from battles. Next up, we travel to the Burn Tower to level up more and take on the rival. Beforehand, Ledian has been given a new TM, Dig, which will prove extremely useful for later battles. Dig swept through half of the rival's team until Quilava hit with a smokescreen, lowering my accuracy and causing me to miss a few attacks. However, we still came out on top and got the job done. Loving this run so far. I finally take on Morty, Ecruteak's gym leader at level 34, and completely sweep through his entire Ghost Pokemon team with little effort using Dig. In Gen 2, Levitate did not exist, so Ghastly and its evolutions can be hit by ground attacks at this point. If this was not the case, well, I'm sure this run would be over by now. While his Gengar did survive Dig, he missed the Hypnosis attack and was taken out by a second Dig. We took 0 damage from this battle and right now, I'm feeling pretty dang confident with Ledian's ability. But we're only halfway through this run, guys, and we have more tough trainers ahead of this run. Do you now believe I'm capable of completing this run? Stick around to find out. After beating Morty, we finally make our way through Olivine City, take out the trainers in the lighthouse, travel west, across the ocean to Cianwood City to pick up the potion as well as take on the gym leader Chuck. I'm quite nervous as I can't recall if the Cianwood gym fighting Pokemon can use rock attacks or not, knowing Ledian is ×4 weak against rock attacks unfortunately. To be honest with you, I was afraid my run would end here. We take out all trainer Pokemon with ease with the exception of the last trainer before Chuck. He has a Machop with Rock Slide, however, thanks to using Flash earlier, he missed the attack and we were safe. With being 4 times weak against rock types, it would have certainly taken Ledian out if it connected. Now we've reached Chuck, who sends out Primate first. While he did attack us using Fury Swipes and Rage attacks, they did minimum damage, considering I'm at level 41 now. We finish it off with Headbutt, but he proceeds to send out Poliwrath, who survived my Thunder Punch as expected due to Ledian's special attack power being so low. We were hit by Surf that did minimal damage, and we took out Poliwrath with a second Thunder Punch. That will wrap up Chuck's battle, and we're heading back to Olivine City to deliver the potion to the sick Pokemon at the lighthouse and finally battle Jasmine. I can't wait to see how this goes. We take on Jasmine at level 41. I was afraid I wouldn't beat her Steelix, and rightfully so, since it has Rock Throw. Just as suspected, I used Dig and it did very little damage. Steelix has one of the highest defense stats in the game, along with being a Steel type. In other words, I did not stand a chance against her Steelix and was taken out with 2 Rock Throws. Who didn't see that coming? So I needed to rethink and change my strategy here. I decided to teach Ledian Ice Punch because, well, you know, it has a 10% chance of freezing the opponent. Well, 5 tries later, and not a single Icy Cube was made. I decided to give it one more shot and spam the heck out of Flash, then try Ice Punch. Well, I got off one flash and boom, critical hit for Rock Throw. Sends me back to yesteryear and Ledian faints. Shocking. But all jokes aside, Jasmine is proven to be the toughest opponent yet, and questioning my ability to continue this run, I decide to go and level up more and come back at her later when I become stronger. At level 47, we took on Price Ice type Pokemon. While we were easily able to defeat his Seal and fared well against his Dugong, we struggled against Piloswine, mostly due to his high defense as well as using his strongest ice attack, Blizzard. We lost the first attempt, but came back a second time, and with 3 HP left after Price used a Hyper Potion on Piloswine, we were finally able to beat Piloswine using Headbutt and getting lucky with it flinching once as well. Talk about barely surviving by the skin of your teeth. Now let's get back to Jasmine here, because I'm not done with her yet. We get back to Olivine Gym and take on Jasmine once more. As before, we sweep through her Magnemites, and here comes Steelix. We're at level 48 now, and throw the first Ice Punch that surprisingly takes nearly half of Steelix's health. We survive a Rock Throw, with just over half our HP left. We finish off Steelix with another Ice Punch and got the critical hit as well. Finally, I can hear a sigh of relief as you're watching this. Don't worry, this will stay between us. After getting rid of Team Rocket in Goldenrod City, we finally make our way over to the Ice Path and on to Blackthorn City. At this point, we're at level 57 and we absolutely destroyed Claire's Dragonair and lost about half of our health from Kingdra after nearly finishing it off, and Claire not only using a Hyper Beam, but a Hyper Potion as well. We take out Claire and her Kingdra, and we're finally ready for the Elite Four. So we set our sights on the Elite Four and taking Victory Path to get there. Before reaching the Elite Four, we are stopped by a rival once more for a final time. He sends out Sneasel, and we finish it quickly with a couple of headbutts. Next is Golbat, and we finish it off with a single Thunder Punch. Talk about electrifying. Magneton is brought out, and we finish it off with a single Dig attack. This is going great so far. Typhlosion arrived, and my heart sank for a second. I continued with Dig, almost had a dang near heart attack when I saw Flame Wheel, but Ledian did survive with more than half of his HP left, thanks to its high special defense stat. We take out Typhlosion with Headbutt, and we use Dig on Haunter. We use another Headbutt on Kadabra, and that's all she wrote. At level 63, we should have a solid advantage against the Elite Four, or so I thought. As expected, Ledian swept through Will's Psychic Pokemon team using Headbutt, Ice, and Thunder Punch moves. Even as powerful as its Executor was, it could not survive one Ice Punch. While Slowbro did survive a Thunder Punch, it only used Curse, which does nothing for its special abilities, and we took it out on the next round. On to Koga. We battle Koga, and he brings out Ariados, who does 0 damage and is taken out with a couple of headbutts. His Golbat and Venomoth pose 0 threats as well. However, Fortress took 2 Ice Punches before becoming frozen solid on the second punch. That was pure luck, I suppose. Out comes Muck, and while he gets a few attacks in, we survive for more than half of our HP left, and we're on to Bruno. I had a feeling that this would be difficult considering his Pokemon no rock moves. We arrived at Bruno, and here comes Hitmontop ready to battle. While we take a little damage from a few quick attacks, we easily take out the Hitmontop with headbutts back to back. He sends out Onyx, and I'm a bit worried if Ice Punch will be enough. But in fact, one Ice Punch was enough to take out his Onyx. Hitmonchan posed little threat to us, even when using Fire Punch. The biggest threat of all is right behind Hitmonchan. And next on the list, yep, we're talking about Machop. We immediately go for Ice Punch, hoping for that 10% freezing chance, but it wasn't enough, and one Rock Slide was all she wrote. This result would have happened at least 3 more times until Ledian was strong and lucky enough to use Headbutt to flinch Machop in combination of Ice Punch. With just 19 HP left, Hitmonlee was on the last Pokemon left and barely survived the Headbutt. I just knew I was a goner, but Ledian held on well at 10 HP after receiving a full high jump kick due to it being 4 times resistant against fighting attacks. We take out Hitmonlee and we're finally ready for Karen. Next up is Karen, and I'm surprised how this one went. Umbreon is up first and we take it out with a couple of headbutts but receive no damage. We take out Houndoom with a single dig and nearly creamed Gengar, but not only did it survive dig, it used Lick and paralyzed Ledian, making things a bit more interesting now. I became angry and I was ready to throw the controller. However, I remained calm, took out the Gengar and Murkrow with Thunder Punch. We absolutely obliterated Vileplume with a single Ice Punch. Yeah, I think we're ready for Lance. What do you think? So Lance is next, and this battle will determine the success of this run. Lance has powerful Pokemon, and one slip up could mean trouble for Ledian. Gyarados is first, and we hit hard with a Thunder Punch and take it out. Lance brings out 2 of his 3 Dragonites, and both are taken out easily with Ice Punch. So far so good. Aerodactyl is released, and unfortunately survives the Ice Punch and returns with a Rock Slide, leaving me with a third of my health left. A critical hit would have destroyed Ledian. We take out both his Aerodactyl and his Charizard with Thunder Punches. We take out the final Dragonite with an Ice Punch, and we successfully beat the Elite Four to become the new Pokemon Champion of the world. You know what? I need a Pokemon Heavyweight Belt picture here, but I can use that for next time, I suppose. After beating Lance, we are at the credits, and while technically this run is complete and we successfully defeated the champion, I'm sure you're wondering, gee, TJ, can Ledian beat Pokemon Trainer Red? Why sure, that is a great question, because I'm curious myself, and I'm going to make my way over to the Kanto region, defeat the remaining 8 gym leaders, and I'll see you guys on the final showdown with Red. We're finally here to hit it off with Red at level 86. One dig took out his Pikachu with no problem. Charizard is sent out, and that's when things start to go sour. We get off a headbutt and it flinches. Very good. We use Thunder Punch and it survives. Oh boy. Charizard uses Flamethrower. It was super effective, taking more than 50% of my HP. At this point, I knew it was over. Here comes Blastoise. We use Thunder Punch and paralyze Blastoise while slowly recovering with some leftovers. He uses Rain Dance, but he surprisingly misses Blizzard on the next round. That would have taken me out. We finish off the Blastoise and here comes Snorlax. It's gone from bad to worse. We managed to make Snorlax flinch twice with headbutts, bringing him down half of his HP, but he gets in Amnesia and one Body Slam that paralyzes me. He uses that opportunity to rest and regain health. He still attacks using Snore and is useless to continue to fight. He takes me out with Body Slam and that's all she wrote. We return and experience the same loss over and over. We cannot beat the Snorlax 13 times before we finally get a break at level 88. During the Snorlax fight, we get lucky with Ice Punch, freezing Snorlax on the first attack. That is lucky. We used this opportunity to hit it with everything we got, slowly recovering with leftovers, nearly gaining our health back. Venusaur is sent out and we use Ice Punch. He brightens the area with Sunny Day, and I decided to use Headbutt to cause flinching before he either used Solar Beam or Synthesis to recover his HP. Another Ice Punch does the job, and last but not least is Espeon. With a few headbutts and Ice Punches, and after surviving its psychic attack, we take it down and we finally destroy well, I shouldn't say destroyed, but claimed victory over Trainer Red. To be honest, while this was a fun run, I was not sure how I was going to beat Red. Luck was 100% the factor here, and with that being said, we did it, guys. We did it. If you would like to see me do more of these challenges, please let me know in the comments below, and the Pokemon you would like to see a possible run with. These type of videos are very time consuming, but I love putting them together because it's extremely fun and worth watching it unfold. Be sure you hit that like button, guys, and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for new and future uploads. I upload every week, and that way you can be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play.